turn that off, I think. Hello. Oof. Hold on here. I think my camera is a little bit smudgy. How's everyone doing tonight? Sorry for the late notice. I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to do a live stream or not tonight, so sorry for the late notice, but thank you for joining me. Hello, Marissa. How are you? We're in a bit of a different location because the chair is comfier here. So we are actually in my bedroom, as you can see. Someone asked that, I think, last time, whether we were in the living room or the bedroom, but we're in my bedroom. So hi, Marissa. Hi, Lulu. Hello, Pause Gaming. How is everyone doing? The lighting might be a little weird because I'm actually sitting in front of a window and I also have like the above light on, but it's like yellow and horrible. So let's see if I also have like my normal light on. So, I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't think any of it's good. Either way, we'll carry on. You're good. Good, Marissa. I'm glad to hear that. And you're happy you caught the live? Yes, yes, yes. Wasn't sure if I was going to. Not that great, but I'm hoping I can make tonight better. Honestly, that has kind of been the story of my life for like the last 2 weeks. Like, to be completely honest. But yeah, so I think the last live stream, I have cat hair stuck in my lip chap. Oh my gosh, okay. What are you doing? You better not knock that over again. So basically where I'm set up right now, there's a window like right behind you guys, and there are plants on said window, and we are sitting at a desk in front of a window. And one of my cats is right behind the computer, curled around the light and hanging out in the windowsill. Yes, hello. Okay. So, yeah, so basically, this is your first time joining the live stream. Welcome. I don't know how long this one will go. Some of them are really long, but I don't know how long this one will go. We'll see how the night progresses. It's a little bit later than usual, but yeah, I think the last live stream, the normal live stream Friday, would have been Good Friday, which was actually my birthday. And my plan had originally been to do an earlier live stream. Oh, I'm kicking things. An earlier live stream in the day. However, that didn't actually happen because I ended up being scheduled to work, which is a stat holiday, which is fine. Whatever, extra time for me towards paying off my hours. So that was good. Those of you who have been around for a while know that's been something I've been working on, is paying back hours at work. So yeah, I ended up working, and then I already had plans to go out later that night, and it ended up being I worked the full day. And I didn't end up with the time I thought I would have to do a live stream. So I didn't do that live stream. And I was like, you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's a like stat holiday. So most people probably are out doing things. So I went out. It was a pretty good day. I ended up going with some friends to see The Secrets of Dumbledore. Naturally, Harry Potter fanatic here. So it was really good. And then things kind of nosedived from there, but I've been kind of trying to, with every negative situation, try and find something that's good that's going on. So that is what it is. Hopefully everyone else has been doing better. What is everyone working on? I'm working on a Rex lace pattern. The lighting in here really isn't very good, but I don't know that would closing these curtains make a difference for the better or for the worse, do you think? Let's see. Let's see if it makes a difference. Does it really make a difference? Nope, not really. I'm going to open that back up so I can see the light outside because I am so happy the days are getting longer. It's not even funny. So I sent some pictures of what I've been working on. Very cool. Very cool. Let me see. Gotta close all the junk I have open. Oh my gosh. There's a bunch of messages here that I had not seen. Let's see. Ooh, is this going to be, it looks like you're doing something in the round. Is that going to be like a chapstick holder? I've actually, so you guys can see, I've actually thought about doing a tutorial on like a chapstick holder or something. Something small like that to work in the round. And then you've got a drawing here as well. Now, is this like imported, like an actual drawing coloring imported into a like a graphic designs? Because it looks like this is like a little fairy. It looks like the fairy is hand drawn, but then this bottom part here looks kind of like Photoshop brushes, maybe? Some like leaf or tree brushes stamped on. It looks very pretty. Very, very pretty. Fairies always give me like, I don't know, like spring sort of vibes. Everything's starting to come out, you know? I sent some pictures of what I've been working on. Yes, that's what I just looked at. The sun finally went down like an hour ago at 9. It is 8:30 now and it's overcast, but it is still bright outside. Here, it's digital art. It took me close to 8 hours. Wow, so that wasn't even partially done outside of I can't find my words. Oh my gosh. Partially done outside of like Photoshop or Illustrator, whatever you've used there. Very cool. It definitely looks it. Like some of the texture in some spots. Very cool. Very cool. You're currently unknotting some alpha keychains. Sadly, the colors you chose were too similar. That is the worst. Undoing knots, terrible. I hate it when you pick out colors and like on the bobbins or in your skeins, they look like they have enough contrast. And then when you start knotting with them, they don't have quite as much contrast as you would have hoped. That is like the worst because you generally don't realize until you're a good chunk of the way in that, oh, these colors are maybe a little more similar than I previously thought. But kudos to you for actually sitting and undoing them instead of just throwing it out, because that's probably what I would have done. I just been like, we're finishing this or we're throwing it out, and that's just that. Otherwise, a couple of you guys have messaged me about some of the projects I've been working on. That second blanket, the fuzzy one that I was working on for my mom, I basically the last couple weeks haven't really been up to doing anything. That's why I haven't really posted anything. I haven't really done anything, said anything, been anywhere. I just kind of took a break. So it's almost done, but I haven't really done anything on it. I worked on it after I had last seen you guys, but over the last couple weeks, like it should be done at this point, but I just haven't really sat and finished it because we're pretty much at the point where I'm in the last few rows of it, I think, as long as I'm going to make it. But the trees are brush. I use Clip Studio Paint. It's a very professional program and there is a big learning curve. Very cool. I have never used Clip Studio Paint before. I've only ever used, I did use Paint Shop Pro once or twice back in the day, but the only thing I've ever used is really Photoshop and Illustrator, and Photoshop a lot more than Illustrator. I haven't really used Illustrator a ton, but um, I I have used Photoshop a relatively considerable amount. Like I'm not professional by any means, but I have certainly put some time into that program, that's for sure. I feel your pain. I had to restart my big butterfly alpha. Yes, you sent me pictures of that. Oh, I can't believe that you were like a good chunk of the way into that too. So if you guys remember a couple live streams ago, there was a really big butterfly pattern that we had looked at, and it was like half the butterfly was flowers, and it was a big pattern. And Paws had started it and then ran out of the background color and had to start again because she couldn't find more of the color. And like, oof, oof. I'm pretty sure that was your project, right? Or was it? Now I'm confusing myself. I'm pretty sure that was your project with the background color. And then someone else, or maybe it was you too, that someone else had miscounted in a giant alpha. Or maybe I've got that backwards and you miscounted in the giant alpha and someone else with the background color. So many projects to keep track of, you know? It's a paid program I got a year ago. I definitely use some of my digital art knowledge. Cool. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I'll have to look into it. Otherwise, though, oh, you're back, are you? Are you going to come say hi to the people? Hmm? Are you going to come say hi? No. Scoot right on by into the windowsill, huh? So, yeah, other than that, not really a ton going on, to be honest. I made a mistake and couldn't figure out where I made the mistake, and I don't have enough to do this. Okay. I thought so, and then I second guessed myself. I was like, "Wait, maybe that was someone else's project?" Because I definitely, a few people sent me pictures of the large projects they're working on. I have not sat down and done, like I'd say I haven't sat down and done, like, any nodding, but that would be a bit of a lie because I did a quick chevron the other night. I did do a quick little chevron the other night, and that's about it. It wasn't even like a full bracelet size. My daughter picked out the colors and she wanted one. So I made it, but because she's like 3.5, it's like half a bracelet. So um yeah, I haven't that's really the only knotting I've done for the first time in a long time. And then after the last Rex lace tutorial I did, I was kind of just enjoying the Rex lace. So I thought I've actually recorded how to do this stitch and just have to add some more length to this so I can finish it off, and then that will be coming out soon. I haven't knotted much this week, mainly because I've been working on YouTube stuff. Yeah. You had started a crafting channel. Have you posted any videos yet? Oh my gosh. This does not want to straighten nicely. But I'm trying to think, like, nothing really exciting has happened. Honestly, I've been kind of just down. At least the snow melted again. That happened. I got more plants. That happened. Yeah, otherwise not a whole heck of a lot going on. I've been in this spot where it's like I have lots of ideas but no motivation to do them. And then with everything else that's been going on topped off, it's just been kind of like burnt out, run down, and a little bit depressed. So I've just been kind of trying to take that time and give myself the space I need, you know what I mean? Oh, I think I told you guys this before. At Christmas, my aunt got me an Amazon gift card, and so I had gotten a acrylic set to do like do your own acrylic nails. The first set turned out really janky. I finally sat down to try for a second set. We're still not perfect, but I think it went better than the first set. They're a little more even. We're getting there. But I did do that. I did do that. So that's a thing. It's kinda like one of those things where if you look at them closely, they're not great, but my friend saw them at work and she's like, "From a distance with the sparkle, you can't tell anything's amiss," and I was like, "Perfect." So, that turned out okay, but yeah, I'm excited because we're starting to warm up enough that I think in maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll see. I may be able to start moving some of my vegetable seeds and stuff outside. I know that's not what everyone cares about, but I've been really excited to move them because 'cause that'll give me more room. Because right now, that area is getting pretty crowded because I started some seeds and stuff, and it's just time to move them out. Yes, I have 3 videos, 2 about biscuits, gotcha day, and the process of the fairy drawing. Oh, very cool. I'll have to pull up your channel and take a look. I'm sorry I didn't already do that because I know you had mentioned it last time, but so glad to see you. I was worried about you. Thank you. I totally understand that you need a break. Yeah, it wasn't even like the kind of like crappy thing about it is it's not doing YouTube that creates a stress because like doing YouTube is what I enjoy, but it's like at the end of the day, YouTube does not pay me nearly enough to even make a semi living on it at this point, right? Like maybe one day that would be amazing. But that basically means that when things get tight or when things get to the point of like burnout or unhappiness, I still have to focus my energy into work, even though a lot of the times that is the major cause of stress. So it's kind of one of those things where unfortunately I can't just say I'm not going to go to work, but YouTube is a thing on the plate that I do have control over. So unfortunately, it tends to be YouTube that gets the brunt end of the stick when in reality, in many cases, I'd much rather obviously sit and craft. Who wouldn't want to just sit and craft and record it? Like, right? That's a lot less stressful than actually, going into work every day. But yeah, so I've been working on doing more with my nails. Last year, I got a gel nail set. I had the gel polish that I got like 2 years ago, and so I finally made the plunge for the, um, actual, like, acrylic set with, like, the tips and the monomer and powder and everything else, and it's not very easy, I'm not gonna lie. That is so relatable. I have so many work in progress and ideas, and I have sudden bursts of motivations to start projects, and then it goes away so quickly, right? Sometimes it's like I can sit and brainstorm a million ideas, and I'll even like plan out the week or the day or something. And then it's just like I feel so unmotivated to even do the basic things in my life to even get above and beyond that. It's fine. I've been busy and haven't posted much. I've been super inconsistent and have a 2-week gap in between my videos. I don't know if you realized, but I've definitely got a couple weeks between now and the last video I posted. Right? For me, making bracelets relieves my stress and helps calm my nerves. Exactly. Like just zoning into that like zen place and actually like creating something you want to make, obviously 10 times less stressful than um going and dealing with other people and doing things, but necessary evil, right? So I can't control that, but I can control the extras. So when it gets rough and I feel like I'm nearing burnout, I gotta make the chops where I can control it, right? Instead of just trying to plow through and do everything. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So slowly easing back into it. And then I'm hoping my goal is to actually get to a point this year that I can upload 2 videos a week instead of just 1. But right now, I'm just focused on getting back into it and getting 1 video a week posted for at least like a solid few months, which I had actually, excuse me, rude, which I had actually achieved for a little while, but then that fell off, as is seems to be a reoccurring theme here. I need to get some fake nails because I've grinded them down so much, they're super thin, which I know isn't good for them, that's why I need fake nails to shave down. Yeah, the only thing with fake nails is that you have to glue them on, and essentially nail glue is basically super glue. So if you don't wear them until they pop off and you start to actually pry them off, you just do more damage to your nails. So I had to actually just give them a break for a while because it was getting to the point where like I'm almost always have like fake nails on, right? I used to paint them all the time, but then now that I have a kid, I just find it hard to find enough time in the day to sit and let them like dry and everything properly. But I found my nails had been like filed to get that texture to glue onto so much that like the skin under my nails was starting to hurt, the actual like nail bed. So, I had to just give them a break for a little bit, but now they're good. And yeah, I thought I'd give it a try, but still not quite comparable to the salon, you know? Are you making a keychain? Yeah, that's what this will end up being. Whether I actually use it or not is a different question, but I started the tutorial for this stitch, and it's basically I do the first few stitches, like how to start it, do the first few stitches, finish out the length of the project, and then come back and finish off the project. So this is at the point where I just have to do the length of the project to go back and film the end of it. So it'll be keychain length, but I don't know that I'm going to actually use it as a keychain. It may just get tossed in a box, unfortunately. I know that bugs some people when I'm like, "This is just gonna go in a box," but I make so much of this stuff, there's no way I could actually use all of it without looking like an absolute crazy person, just with, like, trinkets dangling off of every limb, you know? Just start stringing them on like Christmas decorations onto the sleeves of my shirts. Could you imagine? That would actually look really funny, I think anyways, but oh, I completely missed the side. How did I manage that? That's my goal, 2 videos a week, 1 on each channel. I think that's like, obviously, like, I don't know what your life is doing. I have a full-time job and a small child, so my time is limited, so I feel like 1 video a week is a good goal, but I would really like to do 2 videos a week. But I think I basically have to the way for me to achieve that would be to basically pre-record, like, months worth of video and then work and upload, like, secondary videos a week, you know what I mean? I think that would be the way I have to do it, which may be something I do this weekend, actually. Because honestly, I was really, really consistent after the 24-hour bracelet challenge because I recorded, like, 3 or 4 different videos within that video. And so at 1 video a week, that was literally like a month's worth of content made in 1 weekend. And I was like, "Oh, this really eases the load," but I made the mistake of not, like, filming an extra video, like, every week to tack on to the end of it, so I had that buffer. Instead, I let it, like I just didn't really make anything and then ran out of videos to post, and then you're back to having to film, edit, and post all in 1 week sort of thing. You'd think by now there'd be a way to have nice looking nails and healthy at the same time. I used to have really long natural nails, but it's difficult now. And I used to paint them and everyone thought they were fake because they were about as long as these ones, sometimes a little bit longer. But I don't think I think that was before I started uploading to YouTube, so I don't think you guys ever really saw that. My bracelets sit in a bag. I give like 8 to 10 away to a friend in November. I kind of do the same thing. I shove them all in a tin. Well, last time what I did was I think you guys would have seen it if you watched one of my collection videos, had like the Quality Street chocolate tin. And I had filled that with a bunch of bracelets. And before that, I had had like a coffee tin. Basically, I sat down one day and I pulled out everything that I really liked and wanted to keep for myself and like my favorite projects out of the box. And the rest of the boxes, like the tin, the box, like a bag, I took it all into work and was like, pick what you want. And that that decimated the collection. So I haven't posted another collection video actually because there's not much to it anymore. I've got to like build it back up. But yeah, at least I do that. Like I've definitely given chunks away to people for like Christmas and stuff too. But yeah, my collection's pretty small at the moment since I did that. Literally, one of my coworkers took a bracelet and it was like a smaller bracelet. She's like, I'm taking this one. And we're like, it doesn't even fit your wrist. And she goes, it's for my future child. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, Nicole. But yeah, it was good fun. And it was a good feeling to see everyone really enjoying them and digging through them and stuff. So, hi, this is my second time on your live chat and I'm late. LOL. I never seem to be able to catch you live. I end up watching it on my way into work the following mornings. I enjoy the conversations. Well, welcome. Glad you can make it a second time. Um, I never know, like, for me, I like the 8:30 because that allows me to get home, eat a proper dinner, and like feel not rushed. But I also know that it's late, like really late some places. Like for me, it's 8:30, so it's not super late. That's when I started tonight. So most nights I start at 7:30, which is a little bit rushed for me because I finish work around 5. Then by the time I get home and like eat something, get the light set up, get the, everything set up, it's kind of rushed. But I'm glad you were able to make it to this one. And I'm glad you enjoy the conversations and it gives you some entertainment on your rides into work. Oh my gosh. I just panicked for a second. You know what I did the other day? So I had a shower in the morning. I did my makeup and immediately got in the car to like go drop my daughter off at daycare and then go to work. And not even thinking I do one of these because early in the morning, right? But because all my makeup was still fresh on the way to work, and I've just got big giant black lines smeared across my face, and I was like, wicked. Like, that's the kind of week I've been having where it's just stupid things just keep going wrong, and I'm just like, I'm over this. But yeah, I just like scratched my eye and I was like, I didn't just smear makeup everywhere, did I? But no, it doesn't look like I did, so that's good. We love that. I'd like to do more, but the editing is where I get held up. If I could just record and make thumbnails, I'd have many more uploads, but at this point, I can't have an editor. Exactly. Exactly. I'm in the same place. It's the editing that takes a long time, and it's the editing I want to do the least amount. But I also, in the same sense, I also like that I do my own editing because I can control how much stays in the video, especially for like the longer tutorial videos, because I feel like there's so many people that cut large chunks out and they're like, well, you understand it's forwards knots or backwards knots or whatever. But I'm like, some people just need more guidance. And that's kind of the niche that I've found. And I don't think if I had an actual editor, they would go through it to that extent. So I feel like I'm going to be my own editor for probably ever. But that's definitely where I get held up the most too. I finished the Angel series and just started watching the Vampire Diaries recently. Ooh, I have never watched the Angel series. I did watch a couple seasons. I definitely watched like season 1, season 2, and I think I got partway into season 3, if I remember correctly. and then stopped watching it. Will you be doing a normal bracelet tutorial soon in any upcoming videos? I enjoy the tutorials. I wanted to do a normal tutorial actually coming up soon, and I've been kind of looking through some patterns. I was thinking about maybe doing one of the butterfly patterns that's been pretty popular. Excuse me, just because we're coming into spring. But I don't have anything locked down for an actual tutorial. Like I don't have it actually like, oh, this is the pattern I want to do. I do have that I want to do a normal tutorial coming up, but I don't have it completely planned out yet. I always give my bracelets around November to ministries at a church. Very cool. I usually have over 1,000 at the end of the year. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm kicking things by accident. That's crazy, but I guess it depends on what kind of bracelet you're making. I could see, like, obviously I shouldn't say obviously because 1,000 is a lot of bracelets to make regardless of the pattern, but obviously it would be easier to see, like, a bunch of chevrons or, like, candy stripes or something like that, but to do, like, actual more intricate patterns and have 1,000 at the end of the year, that's a lot. That's a lot. Honestly, the time you go live is perfect for me, but seems I always have something going on when you do go live. I'll catch it for sure the next one. Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. Not like no one has to feel obligated to attend every single live. Um, I don't want anyone to think they have to, but I do enjoy that people like to come and spend some time and build our little community. So thank you for spending the time that you do have with us. I don't even do much in editing. It's just overwhelming to start every time. Once I'm done, I question why I didn't do it sooner. I kind of do the same thing because it's really satisfying to have it done. And I procrastinate it for a very long time. But also, I have been on the other end where some of the really long, like full alpha bracelet tutorials where I go through the whole pattern start to finish. Some of those I get halfway through editing it. And it's like at that point, the footage was over 8 hours long to begin with, and generally by the time I get it trimmed down to, like, 2 hours of footage, I am like, "I don't wanna do this anymore." And I'm like, "I gotta trim it down at least another hour," but at that point, you've watched it over so many, so many, so many times, you're like, "I am sick of this." But then it's finished, and then you post it, and you see, um, the comments and stuff on it, and you see people making the pattern, and you see the reaction to it, and it's like, "Okay, no, that was worth it," but in the moment, she's rough sometimes. You say coming into spring, meanwhile, it's been the mid-80s to lower 90s every day. Well, I'm in Canada, so we go with Celsius. So I'm not actually 100% sure without using a conversion calculator what that is, but our snow just melted a couple days ago, so I would say we're still coming into spring, and there's still some, like, really shaded areas, like, if I were to walk through, one of the trails in the, like, woods here, there would definitely still be some snow around, but, yeah, we got warm, and then we got snow for 3 days straight and had, like, a foot of snow on the ground, over a foot of snow on the ground again, and it had been, like, gone, and now it's finally melted again, and we're just reaching the point where we're, like, kind of around 10-ish every day. And then it goes down to, like, 0 or below 0 every night, so it's going to be warm soon, we're just not quite there yet. Most of yours are Chinese staircase bracelets, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. That's a much not like 1,000 bracelets still isn't a insane number, but it's a little more feasible in my mind if it's like, a easier pattern, you know what I mean? What snow? I haven't seen snow in over a year. Lucky you. We had a really nasty, long, and cold winter here. It was oof, and because we're, like, up north, you don't even get a lot of daylight to go with it. Like, obviously, where you get snow, you have a shorter daylight period. But here it's almost depressing because it's like you go into work for 8 a.m. and you're driving into work and it's dark. And it's like the sky's just starting to get light as you're coming into work. And as you're leaving work, it's like the sun is setting. So it's like you get basically like 8 hours of daylight. It's what I'm getting at in the winter if you're lucky and it's not like cloudy or something. And I can't wait for summer because then in the summer, you get the opposite where you get really, really long days and only like 6 hours of dark. And like, that's what I do like about living in the north. Your first bracelet was a Chinese staircase? I think mine might have been too. Mm, either that or it was like a macrame, like square knot bracelet. I think. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I spent my entire life in the Midwest, including a blizzard, so I've had my fair share of snow. Fair enough. Fair enough. I have lived through many a blizzard, but that's what you get for living in Canada. Basically, in a nutshell. Um, yeah, so I'm just really glad that the snow is finally going and we're finally getting longer days. It feels like it's starting to be spring, but spring doesn't really last very long here. In fact, we are coming up on the historical anniversary of our fire here. So that was literally that year would have been 2016, 2016, and we went from having like a foot of snow on the ground to the city burning within a week because everything melted and dried out that fast. So, yeah, weather gets kind of crazy up here, but yeah, that's I'm looking forward to the warmer weather. I'm not looking forward to the fires, but we'll see how she goes. I would love to see a tutorial on a pattern like 120742. I'm still getting a little confused on how to do ones like these. Would you ever do one like this pattern or one similar? Let me see what that pattern is. Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to like recollect the pattern number of every pattern you had looked at? Like, how much easier would that make my life? If I could just be like, ah, yes, pattern 12367 is a pattern of whatever. You know what I mean? How cool would that be to just draw on that knowledge from your head? 120742. Okay, let's see. Mm. Oh, with just like the holes in the middle? It's not a super difficult pattern. I'm wondering if there's a stylized purpose to it though. Like, you know how some patterns, like the pattern generator can't actually show how like a Zolino pattern is made or whatever. So people will make a pattern that kind of represents it with the um what's the word I'm looking for? With the parameters of the actual like bracelet designer. But so far as I see, this is just the idea is that there's like keyholes in it. So that would be actually a really, really easy one to do, actually. We might be able to do something like that. We might be able to. We could maybe do something like that. I sent you pictures of your first bracelet. Oh my gosh, you have pictures of your first bracelet? That's one thing. I think I've said it before. Oh my gosh. Cat hair. Oh, cute, a little, like, blue and white Chinese staircase. Oh my I haven't made a Chinese staircase bracelet in a long time. And then I assume this is, like, your first knotted pattern? I could be completely wrong, but that's a cute little chevron. Cute, cute, cute. Yeah, like, bracelet book didn't exist when I started making bracelets, so it's, kind of depressing when I see people ask to have, like, pictures taken down because they're, like, embarrassed by them or whatever, and I'm like, "I hope you have saved that somewhere else because there will be a day further in your bracelet career where it's like you want to look back on that, and if you've deleted that because you're embarrassed, you're not gonna have that." It's like there's so many times where people are like, "Oh, what was your first bracelet?" or whatever, and I'm like, "I wish I could just pull out a picture and show you guys, but I can't." So, it makes me a little bit sad when people want their pictures taken down because I'm like, "Why? Keep it, and then show your progress." Like, I don't know. People are free to do what they want, but it does make me a little bit sad when I see that. Thank you, that'd be great. Yeah, that pattern is actually I feel like the pattern is not as difficult as you may think it is. So we might be able to do something like that. Are you coming to say hello again? Excuse me, no, that's my water. That's my water. Where were we? It is. I didn't like the knotted patterns when I started making bracelets 3 years ago. Thankfully, I got over that. Yes, it really expands the, friendship bracelet horizons, doesn't it? And see, I think I did the opposite. I wasn't particularly interested in the Chinese staircase bracelets. I remember making a lot of, like, square knot, like, macrame bracelets and, like, the spiral macrame bracelets. And then jumping into I really wanted to know how to make, like, the candy stripe and the chevron. The book me and my friend learned from called The Chevron the Arrowhead. So I still to this day want to call it an arrow every time I have to actually consciously think, like, not arrowhead, everyone calls that a different pattern, but chevron. But that's why if you go back to, like, my early, early videos when I did my chevron tutorial, like, 7 years ago, my title screen on it actually says arrowhead bracelet. That's why. Pattern 120108 would be so cute to make as well. Let me see what it is. 120108. Oh, cute. That would be like a cute shaped bracelet. You would for this one, you would follow, it would be basically what I did for the frog shaped bracelet. So if you watch that tutorial, you would get the technique. The technique would be the same to do like the shaped thing, but it is a cute little flower bracelet. You're right, it's probably easier than you think. Yeah, basically, that first one that you had mentioned is basically like working a pattern together, and then almost if you ever did the twisted chevrons or the braided chevrons, the same sort of ideal. You start it working together, then you split it, and then you connect it, and then you split it again. So it's like doing 2 bracelets together, and then instead of connecting them in the middle with, like, your backwards forwards knot, you just knot it as if it's 2 separate bracelets. But it could be a fun one to do a tutorial on. Typing 3 years ago really makes me realize how long I've been making bracelets. We're not gonna talk about what the talk about how many years ago it was when I made my first bracelet because, like, that's gonna make me feel old. But make the sunflower as a shaped. Yeah, exactly, you could totally do that, and then you do the band the similar way I did in the frog shape bracelet, and then you would just pull your strings in to follow the outline of the flower um, instead of just leaving it square or following the green section they had there. That could be a fun spring one, though. Hi, I have the same mini, a famous Squishmallow as you, but the 8-inch size one. This one I actually got, this one's actually my daughter's, but in the summer, she went away for 2 weeks with her dad to Ontario, which is where we were from, to visit his family. And so when she came back, I got it for her and she's obsessed with it. And to be honest, I keep it there because when she's not here, it makes a very nice, squishy, soft, cuddly thing to have in my bed, you know? But yes, it's very big, it's very loved. It's got some marker on it. Some marker here. At one point, she had stolen some of my makeup and put some blush on it and stuff. So we love Minnie. I'm afraid to. Do you know if you have like the smaller one, are your ears like the same? There's like, I don't know, like plastic or something in them. Can this be washed? Because I want to desperately throw this thing in the washing machine. But I know sometimes I've had stuff like this and it's just like a piece of cardboard. So I don't know. And I feel like almost every stuffed animal says, wash with a damp cloth. That doesn't wash anything. Does it actually say on here? I don't think it does. Doesn't say on here. But that's why I haven't thrown it in the washing machine and just kind of been wiping it down. Oops, I autocorrected and made it famous. You typed mouse. Fair enough. I mean, they're probably the most famous mouses going, so you weren't that far off, even with the autocorrect. You sent some pictures. Okay, let me finish this stitch. I've got like one more fold to make here, and then I'll pull it up and take a look. Your Minnie and Mickey have plastic inside the ears. Okay. Well, then maybe I will risk it if there's plastic in there. But what was it I had washed once? I had a basket that I kept in my bathroom, and it held like it was like wicker on the outside, or not like wicker's maybe not a great descriptor because I don't know that it was actually wicker, but it was decorative on the outside and like stiff and structured, right? So I figured if anything, something got spilt on it. I don't even remember how, but something had got spilt on it. And it was structured and it was covered in like a durable material. So I figured it would be okay to go in the washing machine. And then it turned out it was not, because what was actually inside was a cardboard box. I was like, oh, so I spent, you know, how did I manage the I'm seeing a mistake here, like 6 stitches back. So I was like, I paid $15 for a bucket that was a decorated cardboard box, and that was the last time I bought a basket like that or put anything remarkably or similar at all to that in the washing machine because I just was pulling bits of cardboard out of my washing machine for weeks. I started making bracelets right as COVID hit, and I'm so glad I found out there's more to do than just candy stripes or staircase. I couldn't believe the different patterns and community it is. Right? I remember when I started bracelets like 20 years ago. Um we had a book that we learned from, and there was like 4 patterns in the book. And it was literally like, well, these are the 4 bracelet patterns in the entire world. And then I ran into someone who told me that they used to make friendship bracelets with names in them, like knotted friendship bracelet with names in them. And I was like, oh, what? Excuse me, that's not even possible. And then I finally, like, tried to figure it out myself, couldn't figure it out, and then went online and found a completely different forum. But that was like, yeah, like mind blew, horizons spread, and yeah, makes a huge difference the day that you find there's more than just like a handful of patterns in the world. I love this craft and I've gotten so good at it in just a couple years. It's one, especially if you put the time into it, I think, because realistically, it's 4 different knots, right? It's forward, backward, and backward, forward knots over and over and over again. So realistically, especially if you're locked inside for 2 years, um, yeah, like, it's relatively easy to pick up and get pretty good at fairly quick because it's the same 4 stitches over and over again. Obviously, there becomes a little more to it with different techniques and stuff, but it's a fun thing that I think a lot of people just think looks too hard, so they don't try it. But my mother made bracelets like 30 years ago and is marveled at the patterns I make. Yeah, because it just wasn't like available knowledge. I don't know. You'd find like I remember I had a friendship bracelet book and it was the same one my friend had learned from. And there was another brand of one I had seen at a craft store and I looked at it and it had like all the same patterns in it. And so it was just like, oh, like these are just the friendship bracelets there are in the world. That was kind of pre super popular internet, right? And then when the internet obviously got bigger and more popular, I I remember the bracelet forum that I actually stumbled upon was Heather's bracelets. And I think her main like bloggy website still exists with like the written patterns and stuff, but the forum no longer does. The forum I think has been closed for a long time. But that was kind of my gateway into, oh, there's a lot more patterns in the world. And then yeah, you run into people who've made them for years and I've never like looked them up on the internet, or you run into people who used to make them, and yeah, it's crazy because I still remember like finding that website and being like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy." But again, some people never bother to try and go past the candy stripe. I'm huge into alphas. I'm amazed at the creations that can be made. I love alphas too. In case anybody didn't notice. I love them. And again, it's just because I feel like you can basically put anything into them, right? You're creating a pixel picture, and if you're not worried about size, you can literally make whatever you want in that. Same, I was super surprised to find the massive bracelet community out there. Yes, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was it just changed everything, right? Like blew my mind. Like, at that time, Heather's bracelet forum didn't have, like, an actual pattern generator. Everyone would download, this cross stitch app. I can't even remember what it was called anymore, but everyone would download this cross stitch app, and you would, like, upload your pictures to it, and then you could clean them up in there, or you would put it into Paint or, like, Photoshop and create a grid over it and, like, pixelize the picture or the text and everything else. Like, there was a whole process, and that's how we'd make patterns. So you'd like post a picture onto like a forum thread, and someone who had the program or enjoyed making the pictures would take your picture and put it through one of these programs, excuse me, and they'd post the result back, and that was how you got new patterns. Quick question, did you teach yourself how to do alphas? Um, I didn't like what do you mean did I teach myself? Like I didn't use YouTube because I don't think YouTube YouTube existed at that point, but it was not a major platform at that point. That would have been I learned alphas, I think, in 2006. And I learned from Heather's Bracelet Forum and a bunch of her patterns. I can't remember if the alpha patterns had a picture or if they were all text, but a lot of her patterns are were at the time and are still posted there obviously are actually just text. There is no picture. So, like I think she has a picture of what the finished bracelet looks like, but like no picture instructions with it. It's just text. And I can't remember if it was one of the very few patterns she had on there with pictures or not. But basically, I learned how to do one letter and then I just figured out the alphabet as I went in like every bracelet. So there was a lot of trial and error sometimes. And that's part of, I think, how I can picture a craft so far ahead in my brain and how to do it because I'd try and actively think out how those letters and stuff should be knotted way ahead of time. So, did I actually teach myself like yeah, like from text because I didn't know they even existed before that, but I taught myself how to do all the letters and everything because like bracelet book didn't exist. I taught myself how and learned in about a month in like July, August 2020. Yeah, as soon as like I remember I did it, I looked it up, and if I remember correctly on her website, she had one grid pattern letter like per page. So you had to go to a million different pages if you wanted to spell anything out. So once I figured out how to do one letter, I just did the rest myself. And I remember my first alpha was using like the scrap strings I had left in a big pack. And so it was like orange and green because I was just experimenting. And it was like this little keychain that had my nickname on it from the time, which was only used for like 2 years. But I remember thinking it was funny because it was about this big and I hadn't put any spaces between the letters, so the word was, like, all clumped together, but it looked like a little carrot because the background was orange, the letters were green because it was done in, like, the OG style, and then the strings at the end were all green, so it looked like a little carrot. I'm more into normals, but I do dabble in alphas. There was a time where I enjoyed normals more than alphas, and then honestly, I learned there was more patterns than just letters. That's honestly what happened there was the horizon expanded past letters and into like images. But when I started predominantly alpha patterns were just like letters and some basic symbols like a heart or a smiley face, like some basic stuff. Now you can do well, like Alex's Innovations did the full like Starry Night Van Gogh painting knotted. I want to one day do one of those massive like paintings but knotted and actually maybe even actually frame it because that amount of work, whew, you best believe we are doing something fancy with that. Okay, got some more pictures here. We've got some braided bracelets. Oh, you had text there. Because of those bracelets, the braids, your mom told you about friendship bracelets. That's so cool. My mom had never really done friendship bracelets, and I remember it being introduced to me by one of my friends at school. Ooh, that's a beautiful pattern. I'll probably never finish this. Honestly, I might cut the strings soon. I started it in 2020. It's a big normal pattern, but it is very pretty. And there's another picture here. That's a bracelet my mother made. Oh, it looks like she's got a little charm on it. I can't tell what the charm is, but very cute. That looks like, is that a round braid? Is that what she's done there? It's cute anyways. Very cool. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have fallen behind. Are you familiar with how to create an alpha pattern on bracelet book? Yes. I tried, but not sure if I'm doing it correctly. That would be a good tutorial as well to understand how to create one. Yeah, there's a few different ways to create them depending on what you want to do. If you want to start with a picture, the main thing to remember is unless you're doing text, like with the text generator, you can switch between like uploading picture and then going into like paint mode. And I think a lot of people don't realize that and think they have to stick to one. So you can upload a picture and then go into paint mode and like fix up the edges and stuff. So I've thought about maybe doing a tutorial on that, but then I wasn't sure how many people would find it useful. The community is great because I have a place to go that people understand and enjoy the same thing, and that's why I enjoy these live chats. I don't have I can't speak. I don't have anyone around me that does this craft to chat with. I don't either currently, but I feel like I could convince my friends quite easily, to be honest. If we had like a day or whatever, I don't think they would need much coercion into wanting to know how. Um, if you call my butterfly dabbling. Yeah, fair play. That alpha is huge. So the butterfly alpha in question, if you guys aren't familiar with the pattern, knotted, it's like this wide. It's like the size of a little bit wider, I think, actually, than my Slytherin pattern that I work on in like my 24-hour challenges. And Pause Gaming is over here like, I only dabble in alphas. Lies. Cap. Call cap. That's what the kids say these days, right? uh, I learned by following Masha Knots and Alex's innovations and also your channel and followed all of the tutorials until I figured out how to read patterns. Then it was completely on from there. I can do any. Yeah, like the great thing I think a lot of people don't from outside of the craft don't understand. They see all these intricate patterns and they're like, "Oh, it must be so complicated." And obviously there's a learning curve to it just like any other craft, but it's literally like every pattern is made with 4 different stitches. So it's not as complicated as people think, but you can make some really beautiful, intricate looking works. So that's so cool that you use my channel though to learn. And obviously, like Masha and Alex have great videos on how to do things as well, obviously. Obviously. Oh, that one was so cool. Alex's Starry Night. It was so good, right? That was a massive project. I saw her. Was it her video where she was like done it, or was it might have just been one of her posts. And I was like, I have the hankering to start something big. And I was really inspired to do a big project after that. Luckily, at the time, I already had a few projects on the go and I didn't have a lot of string left. I was waiting for string to come at the time. And like just luckily I didn't have a ton of string because yeah, I would have dabbled as Pause would say there, my way right into a massive alpha. And as it was, I think I already had my Slytherin one started and another project that I need to finish. I have a very, very big project started that I really need to finish, but also like even if I finish it, I don't know what I'm going to do with it because it's a project that would need considerable support to display it. But I really want to finish it. It's a massive wall hanging. It's a very, very massive wall hanging. Hello, hello. Am I late to the party? You're a little bit late, but that's okay. We're just vibing. We're just vibing. It was very late notice, so um I don't expect a ton of people to wasn't expecting a ton of people to show up because I did post it with like less than an hour's notice. So not particularly surprised that it was a bit later, you know? Um Do. I would love to show you my big alpha pattern I made of Paul McCartney. Biggest pattern I've done so far. Now working on an even bigger portrait of Chris Evans. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. If you want, if you have Instagram, you can totally show me. You can just add me on Instagram and send me a picture, send me a message. For anyone who is here that wants to send pictures, I'm at Meg Makes Crafts on Instagram. So that's MEGMAKES Crafts, CRAFTS. Meg Makes Crafts. That's my handle on Instagram. And you can shoot me messages of your crafty crafts. The charm is a train. It's round and looks like a fishtail braid. I think technically that's like a round braid. It's not one that I'm super familiar with. Like I've seen it before, but it's not one I've done a lot. And very cool. Is there significance to the train or is it just a cute charm that she liked? Hello, Marie. How are you? I hope you're having a good Friday. Lily, your internet's being slow, so you're gonna have to head out. Bye, everyone. No problem. That's okay. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good Friday and you have a great, lovely weekend. Thank you for spending some time with us. Hold on. Let me finish. I'll catch up with you guys in just 1 second. Let me get this string back in here. I should have folded this one first. Okay, note to self, don't buy this brand again. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna do this. And that sounded like it really like whipped. I promise you, nothing was hurt and nothing was whipped. I'm brand new to bracelets and I would like a few tips on not getting stressed out. Um, I would say definitely take your time. Nobody's first bracelets are perfect. I'm not sure when you came in. We did display a couple people's first bracelets. It's definitely like nobody's first bracelet looks great. So don't worry too much about that. Just try working on it. If it makes it easier for you, you can try putting like some music on or an audiobook or doing it while you're watching a movie or something or have that going on in the background. So then you can kind of take little micro breaks and watch your movie or, you know, whatever it is you have going or sit and listen to your audiobook and just take it easy. Don't force yourself to try and do it all in one sitting, especially when you're new to it. It just might not be plausible, you know? So that would be my big thing. And I would also say try as tempting as it is, because they're generally the patterns that catch your eye the most. Try to start with some more basic patterns because if you start into just massive patterns with lots of strings, you're going to get very frustrated very, very easily. Start with something that's got lesser strings. It might not be as visually appealing to you, but oh my gosh, excuse me, guys. But once you have those kind of foundational knots down and your tension down, it will make things a lot easier. So I would say stick with it, but take your time, definitely take some breaks. Try to pair it with something that's already enjoyable to you, like an audiobook or music or TV, movie, and take those breaks. If you feel like you're starting to get a little frustrated, maybe you walk away from it for the night. Maybe you just sit and watch a few minutes of your show and have a little snack, have a drink, whatever. And yeah, just take your time with it. I've only ever made keychains before this butterfly. So before, yes, I was dabbling. I mean, fair, I suppose. Fair. I'll try and send you the picture now. Okay. Let me see. Um, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, cool. I don't know how well this is going to show from my phone to the screen. It's Paul McCartney. So that is such a nice piece. There isn't really anything in the background. How big is that pattern? Are we talking like this big, like hand size? That's beautiful though. Love it. Love it. Oh, 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 oh. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Loretta. I'm just seeing your request now. I apologize that I didn't see it earlier and respond earlier to your message. Do 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 do. Just a charm, at least to my knowledge. Oh, the train. I was like, what is this in context to? The train on your bracelet. Very cute though. I sent it. I think it went through. It did go through. Yes. Looks very good. I flip my strings like crazy and have been hit in the face. Obviously with like normal bracelet strings, I don't find that an issue. This is actually plastic. I have accidentally whipped myself a couple times and it's not always very nice. I'm not gonna lie. I've made a few striped before. Like the candy stripe, like the just diagonal stripes. Yeah, that's I feel like that's pretty much the pattern that everyone starts out with. And then like a classic chevron, just obviously they're not the most brilliant, awestrucking. I can't even speak. They're not the most brilliant, most eye-catching, like awe-inducing patterns, but I am a firm believer in practice makes perfect. And yes, you can learn techniques to aid you in your journey, but if you perfect your foundational patterns and your foundational knots and stuff, everything else will come much easier. I feel like I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I almost missed this. Oh, there's a sleeping floof in the background. She is. She's sleeping back there. She was visiting up here for a moment earlier, but that is kind of her blanket. It's covered in cat hair. So I've just kind of left it there because she seems to like sleeping there. So yeah. He's my favorite beetle. Oh, I'll send a different pic to give a better size reference. Yes, let's see. Sorry guys, I put my phone this time around on like do not disturb because already I had um like right before filming I had my brother try to call, multiple messages coming through from like my group chats and stuff with my friends, and my phone was just ding 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 do 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 because I definitely have the Kim Possible ringtone as my text tone. So, I did put it on do not disturb, so I'm not actually getting the notifications, audibly as we're going through here, so. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You made this early this month. See, Marie, this is a perfect example. So earlier in the stream, I'm not sure if you were here or not, Pause Art sent an example of one of her first chevron bracelets, if not the first, and it looked like this. And then she put the time in and she just sent me one of one that she made earlier this month. Look at that. That is like chef's kiss clean. Beautiful. So yeah, I would just say take your time. Try not to stress out. That's basically what I'm getting at. He's your favorite beetle. I love the Beatles. Actually, I don't know if I want to keep it to like top secret or if I want to spill the beans. I have a very large pot pattern in progress. I feel like I should just sit down and work on it, honestly. But I don't know if I want to share it until I'm further into it. But it also has to do with the Beatles. So fun. Fun, fun, fun. You'll send did you send another picture? You did. For size reference. Ooh. Okay, so for size reference, this is the Paul McCartney pattern. That's like full hand size. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, chef's kiss. That's so cool. Love it. I feel like I have to sneeze again. Like I can feel it starting to tingle. Do I like cheese? Yes. I feel like that's kind of a weird question, but yes. That's an awesome chevron. They often confuse me. Yeah, just start with, Chinese staircase, as boring as it is, and like candy stripe. And then once you've got the candy stripe nailed down, then give a go at chevron. And like my first chevron, I remember it was all in like candy color versions of the Harry Potter house colors. So there was like a bright like lime green, a bright red, a like cyan blue, and then a yellow. And I would do half of my knots upside down because I didn't realize at that time that there was like a forwards and a backwards knot. So I would do all my knots as forwards knots. And then on the other side, I would just like twist the string when it got caught up as I was still doing like forwards knots. And it would end up with the right hand side of my bracelet actually being upside down and the left hand side of my bracelet being like right side up. So yeah, that's how my first chevron went. Yep. I wish I had it to like show people because I feel like it makes things more real if you can see something in progress or you can see that progression from like the beginning of the craft to now. I feel like it makes things seem a lot more achievable and a lot more real instead of just like where I'm at now, where I don't have any of those really old bracelets. So it's like the only thing left in my collection is knotting that's like at the level I'm knotting at, which is obviously not where there is cat hair everywhere here. That's what I get for setting up here today. Um, what was I saying? Oh my gosh. Yes, I wish I had those older bracelets to just like have to show people that even, people who are really good at something still started being just as crap as everyone else, you know? I'm going to see him in New York in June. I'm so excited. I'm 5 rows from stage. I am so jealous. I Okay, so a bajillion years ago, I was in Quebec, a few days before they had a big celebration, and Paul McCartney was performing at it, and I remember begging my mom to stay so we could see this performance, and it was, like, free or really, really cheap. I begged my mom. My mom was like, "I don't think I could get the extra 2 days off work." She didn't even try, and then she went into work, and her boss, who is from Quebec, was like, "Why didn't you stay for Paul McCartney?" She's like, "I didn't think you'd give it to me." And he's like, "Obviously, I would have given you that. Come on now." And she told me, and I was so upset. I was so upset. Oh, I am excited for you. I hope you have a good time. That is a big wall hanging. That is. Oh my gosh. After chevrons, I recommend the fishbone pattern. That is a good one. You've practiced pretty much every knot you've ever needed in a normal pattern. What was my progression? I think I started with like macrame square knots and like the macrame spiral bracelet. Then I did candy stripe, and I think I did like a couple Chinese staircase, chevron, and then my book had one called Zigzag Y. Have I ever done it? I don't think I've done a tutorial on it. But it was essentially one of the strings carried on after a chevron, and it made it basically like a Y shape going like back and forth. But I think that was the progression because I went through my book, right? And the fishbone pattern was not in there. But that would be a good one because it practices all the same knots and it looks a little more complicated and it's a little more like that makes it a little more fun, you know what I mean? But do, 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 do. Your first chevron was also in Hogwarts colors. I feel like a lot of people's probably were. Like obviously knotters who have been in the community longer than me probably wasn't, but I feel like I mean 4 colors is a pretty solid number for like a candy stripe or a chevron. And I feel like a lot of people who are younger because that tends to be the generation that starts knotting bracelets would be like, what are 4 colors I could put together? Oh, I'll do Harry Potter. I feel like it's a natural progression, obviously. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Someone just sent me a picture of this bracelet they're starting. That looks fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. And then, ooh, you did them like this. I had all 4 colors like in the one bracelet. Very nice. I like how they look like you have like the double stripes and the big chunk like the scarves. Very cute. Very, very cute. Love it. My mother bought tickets. They were expensive, but was a surprise present for me being proud of me for my huge K-dress change and such. I appreciate her doing that for me. She knows I love him. Did I say that right? Huge. I don't know what that is. Career change. That's supposed to be. I was like, what is K-dress? Am I out of the loop? Career change. That's awesome. That's so cool. Hello, Van. How are you? I feel like you told me your name last stream and I can't remember. My brain is like melted today. Today was a productive day, but as a result, it's kind of like my brain is fried. I feel like I'm just trailing off, losing my place, and yeah, my brain is just fried. Michelle, yes. Oh my gosh. I bloody well knew that. I knew that. I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm sorry. I knew that. You told me that in one of my first live streams ever. I'm pretty sure you told me that like a bajillion years ago. I haven't been on YouTube for a bajillion years, but you know what I mean. Disappointed in myself. Oh, you literally did almost the same color scheme in this and everything. So this was Pause Gaming, and this was working on tension. So there's a picture here of when she was working on tension, and then once she kind of got it right over a 6-month time frame. So this one is obviously much more loose and stuff, and you can see by the bottom of it, we're starting to get better, and then over here, like, completely different. Mhm. You can even see there was some curving over here, so you could tell that there was some tension difficulties, particularly on this side being tighter than like, this side's knots being tighter than this type of knots, and then it evens out, and then here we don't see any curving. Brilliant. Um, it's fine if you don't, but do you have a PO box? I would love to send you something. Someone asked me this actually in, I think it was it Nikki that asked in the last one, I think? I don't have a PO box. I had looked into it at one point when I was like selling bracelets because I wanted to put a return address on stuff, but I didn't want to put like my home address on it because I didn't want to like dox myself, right? Which is like the same reason why I've never really mentioned like what city I live in. Like there's enough hints out there in my videos that if you really wanted to figure it out, you could figure it out. But I'm just quite conscious of that being a thing. So I looked into getting PO box. The short of it all is I looked into getting a PO box, but with Canada Post, it was going to be like over $100 a month for a PO box. So at that point in time, I'm like, bracelets don't make that much money. So, and I think still at this point in time, that's a little more than I'm willing to spend on it. So right now, I don't have a PO box. I have obviously put some thought into it, and I think maybe if the channel grew a little more and I was able to dedicate more time towards it and invest more time and money into YouTube, then that'll be something we probably do at that point. But right now, I don't see myself using it enough to be worth the cost. You know what I mean? No, I mean jelly bean. So, right now I do not have a PO box. Before I move on to chevron, I'll probably try double striped bracelets because they look interesting. What do you mean by double striped bracelets? Is there a pattern number that's similar on like Bracelet Book or Friendship Dash bracelets that you could link? I'm not sure what you're referencing. I feel like if I see it, I'll probably know exactly what you mean, but I don't think I've ever heard. Oh, are you talking about like is it called vertical wave where it's done like alpha style? And it's like there's two colors generally and they kind of interlock where one color goes like this and the other one kind of goes like this and it goes back and forth like this. I think that's the only thing I can think of as like double stripe. Double striped. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of in my head anyways. Yeah, if you have a link or like a pattern number or something, drop it in so I know what you're talking about. I'm curious now. At this point, I've shown you most of my remaining collection. I still have a considerable collection. I feel like most of my collection now you guys have seen because most of it has been made in videos or has been in previous collection videos. Like, I don't think I have anything that hasn't really been in a video or anything anymore. Why, hello. Are you gonna come say hi? She's not sleeping no more. Are you gonna come say hi? You're not gonna like me when I do this. There, are you gonna say hi? Look. Say hi, YouTubes. No? I'm still working on getting the mats off of her. We've made significant progress, but there is still significantly longer to go. But some days she doesn't want to sit and even have one mat cut out. And some days, like today, I was able to get like 3 at least cut so they can start to loosen up and stuff. But it's a process, huh, baby? It's a process. Yeah. It's not a fun one, is it? But I've got like her whole rough mane, whatever you want to call it. That's basically completely unmatted. And all down the top of her back, like her spine, unmatted. And just to like the top, like the top of the sides on either side is pretty good. She's still got a bunch of stuff on her back end and her lower sides and like her stomach that I haven't got to yet. So we're getting there, but yeah. I will be eagerly waiting until the day the channel grows big enough for you to have a PO box, right? Aren't we all? I mean, I'm impressed with how big it is now. Like, I honestly and genuinely never thought that it would even reach 1,000. I was shocked when it got over 100. And when it got past like 500, I was like, this is insane. And then finally, like over 1,000 now, we've like far surpassed it. And it's like only now we're reaching almost 15,000. And it's kind of only now that I'm like, well, maybe we could do, maybe one day I'll see like 100K or something. But it's like not something I ever thought would even happen. So it's insane. So yeah, I'll be eagerly waiting that day too because it's so weird to me that people want to tune in and watch me craft. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just not something I ever thought would gain traction, I guess. You're not sure if that's, I mean, fair enough. My description was not great. Yes, that's Peachy, this little floof. She's not getting along with Nala. Nala is the chonky floof. The chonky floof. And they're still not getting along. But this one has become a little snuggle bug, which she wasn't ever before. So that's kind of nice, other than the fact that I'm very allergic. But I like having snuggles, so we just deal with it. We just deal with it. I sent you a picture of a ring I made. Okay, let's take a look. Oh my gosh, is that a Chinese staircase ring with a like finished loop on it? Ah, that's cute. Cute. The belly area, the danger zone. On her, she loves belly rubs, so it's not terrible, but you can tell that the mats are very sore because there's some days where I touch them and she immediately tries to snap at me, even when they're on her sides and stuff. But like earlier today, I definitely got like full belly rubs in and she just lays there, but she doesn't do that for anyone else. So yeah, I think she's getting settled in and she's getting better. I've been able to cut more and more of them off her, but it still makes me sad. I can't wait till the day that I've got them all off of her. You made 2 of those rings, but one is missing. Fair enough. I think I tried doing a ring once. I didn't do it like that. I did both ends like open and knotted them together, but I didn't do it very well, so it only lasted for a little while. I think I got the link. Which I don't know that it will let you put a link in the chat. I don't know that it will let you put a link in the chat. You can put it there though, and then It may not show it in the chat. Oops. Did not mean to click that. It may not show it in the chat, but it should show it in the comments later, I believe. Or if you have like the channel name, I can just look it up on my phone. Or the video name, I can look it up on my phone. It's your personality as well as your craft. Your personality pulls people in. Well, thank you. I don't think that I'm a particularly personable person, but I mean, thank you. I'm glad that other people do. I made them one night when I was bored. The things we come up with when we're bored, right, though? Oh my gosh, the amount of times that I have nodded with just, like, weird things or, like, I'm really bored. I can't tell you the amount of bracelets that I have made where I have slipped the loop over my small toe and used that as my anchor because I had, like, no safety pin or anything, like, the lengths I have gone to kill boredom. Ugh. And it's like, just it's one of those things where it's like the things you gotta do when you don't have what you meant. I learned that using a pop tab makes a semi-decent replacement for scissors in a pinch. Like, you can cut embroidery floss semi-evenly, better than, like, snapping it with your hands with a pop tab. That is, like, a really weird one, but also, like, airplane safe. You don't have to have scissors. But that was a weird one that I found one time when I didn't have, scissors with me. And then, what's another one? Yeah, I've definitely used, like, my small toe. Shoelaces are not good to attach to and knot off of because they move too much. Zippers, kind of the same, a little more stable, but not great. Holding it in your hands can be done. You can get good even knots, but I find it makes my hands cramp. So, yeah, this is these are the things you come up with. Cutting embroidery string with what tab? Like the tab off of like a pop can. Like the metal tab that you like crack your pop can with. If you just do and pull that off. And then the part that you actually pull off that like snaps off from the can is sharp. And if you feed your string through that hole and hold both ends of your string and like pull tight and do like a quick little saw motion, it will cut through your string, and then you don't have to, like, cut into your hands trying to, like, break it by hand if you have no scissors. And it cuts more evenly than trying to use, like, I don't know, like, a key or something. Yeah. And yes, your personality is awesome. I enjoy hearing what you have to say about the most random things. Well, that's good because sometimes I feel like I'm just monologuing about ridiculous things. And sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes I am. But yeah, like plants. I know not everyone likes plants, but let me tell ya, this kid does. It makes me so happy to sit right here because I have plants like literally like right within arm's reach, and it's wonderful. I'm like looking and noticing new growth that I hadn't noticed before, and that makes me so happy. It really does. Mm, 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 mm. Yes, I'm very bubbly. I try to be. Ah, a pull tab. I'd never thought about that. Brilliant. Yeah, it's definitely like it's not as clean as scissors, but in a pinch works way better than like slicing into your hands trying to break it by hand because that like little edge is already semi-sharp. So it's a good I've used it when I have like plane travel because you can't have like scissors and stuff. So these are the things that I've done in a pinch. I've also, like, knotted bracelets with, like, Rex lace before, and I made, like, a Rex lace pattern once with this plastic wrap, like, the plastic ties that they put around stacks of newspapers. I made Rex lace pattern. I, like, split it down and made a Rex lace pattern out of that once. I'm not good with plants, but I still enjoy hearing you talk about them amongst other topics. True, it's watching your videos and lives, it makes feels like a big crafting family. Oh, guys, thanks. Yeah, you wanna see some plant fails? Um, So we're at a desk right now in front of a window. This is a big thing because up until this point, this window has had to be drastically covered with something because my lease says that I can't mount anything on the window. So I could only use the blinds they had, but they let in too much light. My daughter wouldn't go to sleep. So I had to like tape Bristol board into the window so I couldn't actually open the window. And then I found out that Command makes giant hooks specifically for hanging curtains in rental apartments. Ah, so now I have blackout curtains and I could take the Bristol board down and have it look nice and actually use my windows. So I've got plants in here now. But I made a mistake. And it's funny because I see I've caught at the bottom. I know I've skipped. Did I skip any? No, I didn't really skip any. You bought a Nanook plant, which would be a Tradescantia Nanook, a while ago, and you think it's growing well. It's funny you say that because the plant I was going to show is my Tradescantia Nanook. But I made a mistake because I put it directly in the path of where Peachy here likes to climb up into the windowsill. And if you didn't know already, the Tradescantia Nanook bruises very easily. So this plant didn't look horrible, and now from her pushing past it and bending the leaves down, it looks pretty janky. So you can see like all the cat hair on it. I think you can probably see. Maybe like there's all kinds of cat hair on this because of how she's pushed past it. So it's seen better days. It should look kind of like this. These are still young leaves, but then they get more vibrant purple. So that is a Nanook plant. Tradescantia Nanook, but yeah, I've cut that one back a little bit too. But just beware that you don't put it in a high traffic area where it might get bumped. That is what I have noticed because it makes me so sad because this was starting to look really good and now it looks a little rough. Finding cat hair everywhere is inevitable when you have one cat, honestly, though. And I have two. I have so much dog hair all over. I always say dog hair is an accessory, basically. Like, I don't have any dogs. I don't seem to be allergic to dogs. So we have dogs at work all the time. Don't seem to be allergic to them. The cats, though, it's brutal. Even I have had this plant for 24 hours. And it's already covered in cat hair. It doesn't help that this is like a miniature rose bush, so it actually has thorns that she's basically been brushing herself on it every time she Can you guys see this? Do you see that? Oh, this smells so good. The giant just floof. Oh my gosh. It's inevitable. Oh my gosh. Don't make it stop. But yeah, that's a thing. I've only had it about a month, but it's growing so much. That's awesome. Mine is just starting to take off again because we're just really now getting enough light for it to do so. But I did cut it back quite a bit because I did transplant back into this pot, give my friend a cutting, and trimmed off some of the jankier looking leaves before I moved it in here. And now it just looks really janky. So I don't know whether I should move it or what I should do with it because it's just getting really, really purple here because in the window. It's starting to put out new growth, but I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Biscuit sheds a lot, and I mean a lot. My cat's shed, like, obviously, she's long-haired. I expect her to shed a lot. My other cat, you wouldn't expect to shed a lot because she looks like she's maybe like a short-haired cat. She's actually medium hair with an undercoat, which means you basically brush her for like an hour and you still get all kinds of fur off of her. So I get made fun of at work all the time for being covered in cat hair. And I'm like, listen, I lint rolled myself before I came, inside and out. But yeah, a strand of cat fur in your morning coffee. I have experienced that as well. Um, ma'am, I think this is your whisker. You guys see that? What is going on? And there's almost always cat fur in my bracelets. Common occurrence. Common occurrence here as well. You sent loads of dog pictures. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I have to scroll up. Hold on. A doggo enjoying the sunshine. Look at that. Oh, I imagine that's his little deflated stuffy there. Cute. And him just, this must be, with a dog, I feel like this must be a freshly cleaned couch because that couch looks too pristine to be laid on by a dog for too long. Because I tell you what, mine don't look like that. Even when I keep it clean. Doesn't stay that way for very long. Peachy shed a whisker happens sometimes. I know. And sometimes they're stabbier than others. And I'll wear like leggings and I don't even know how it happens. I'll get a stab in the back of the leg or something. And I'll be like, what the heck? And pull out a whisker. My Nanook is my first plant and I'm keeping it in my bay window because that's the only place I can put it. Yes, that is honestly, it wasn't my first plant, but I have a Trandoscantia zebrina that's gotten very long. I think in my last live stream, I showed it. Someone had mentioned that they had fake vining plants, and I was like, not to be rude, but like, I won't judge you, but I'm judging you. And they're like, I don't know how to take care of plants. And so I showed a couple pothos and the Trandoscantia because they like grow fast. I love my Trandoscantia zebrina. I would love this one to get even remotely similar to that point. But if the cat keeps doing what it's doing, I don't know that that's going to be possible. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to move it though because it's just starting to get, it's like vibrant. Look at this leaf. I see you. This is oh my gosh. I don't even want to. Looks like there's new growth there. Okay. But if you've got a nice, beautiful Nanook coming in, I just leave it there. They like to be in the sun to get the color and stuff on them anyways. So 10 out of 10, leave it there. I also have a cat. Her name is Pearl. And also those dog pictures are cute. Yes, I have this cat and Nala, which you guys have seen before. Is this the first time? No. I think you guys saw Peachy up close last time. Or maybe this is the first time that you guys have seen her in like a live stream since I've had her here. Since I like got her back. That you guys have seen her, but she's still schlepping over there. Also, yes, I am just wearing pajama bottoms. I'm a professional YouTuber. No, the dogs don't lay on the couch much. I was gonna say, how do you have such a pristine couch? I also sent pictures of the dog bandanas I made. I don't think I sent it before. Ooh, let's take a look. Oh, is that? I feel like you may have sent me actually a picture of the bandanas last time. I think maybe I'm like going back in our chat, but yeah, you sent some last time. The checked ones, right? Are those, or did you make new ones? And then you sent this picture. Or did you make new ones? If you made new ones, I only see doggo pictures, so I don't think you sent them. I tried to go cat grass once. It grew all right, but it also somehow got inflected by mold as well. I've got cat grass growing out in my living room right now because, and I can't remember if I told you guys this the last live stream, but I had started some vegetable plants inside because I live where there is snow and ice and cold and that sort of stuff, right? So I can't just start tomatoes like outside or start peppers outside. They have to be started inside a couple months before your first or your last frost date. So, um, I started and like this will kind of be the first year that I'm growing anything above and beyond like a tomato plant or a pepper plant. Like I've grown jalapenos before, I've grown tomatoes before. But this year I was like, well, I want to try some more things. So I didn't really know any better, but I started some green beans inside and it turns out they grow rapidly enough. I could have just planted them outside. But I got really mad because I planted like 4 of them and they took off really, really well. And then the cats hadn't bugged any of my plants. And then all of a sudden I repotted the green beans into a larger pot and the cats ate them. The plants. There was no green beans on them, but they were like this tall already. And the cats ate them. So I got mad and then I was like, I'll get you cat grass and you can eat that and don't eat my other plants. So yeah. But mold, did you overwater it? That would be, or used really cheap soil. Those would be, I think, the first two. Now, Peachy first appeared about 2 live streams ago, I think. It might have been 2 live streams ago. It's been a while because the last live stream day, I didn't end up live streaming. I went to the movies with my friends. I did. I went and saw, I said it earlier. I went and saw the Secrets of Dumbledore movie. It was good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And then I was like, well, I almost did a lazy Sunday live stream that week because let's be honest, I went to the movies and then I went out drinking with my friends. But then the next day I didn't want to do any live streams or anything. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do Sunday. And then I realized I'm like, it's Easter Sunday, Megan. No one's going to be tuning into a live stream. So I just didn't do one. And then the preceding weeks went, and we just didn't do anything. So it's very possible because technically we do a live stream like every other week. So it has been like 4 weeks since our last live stream. Not quite, but it's been a chunk of time. I made those for Biscuit's Gotcha Day. Max has stretched his out so much he isn't wearing it anymore, but Biscuit and Cookie are still wearing them. Don't be fooled. Cookie's a chihuahua and is nasty. Oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't mean to. You are not boring me. I did not mean to yawn. I honestly I don't have a lot of experience with chihuahuas. I've only encountered like and really like pet or anything one, and it wasn't extremely yippy and like nasty, but I know they have a reputation for kind of being little nasty things. But like I don't really have any personal experience with them. I probably overwatered the cat grass. You know what? Overwatering is like a common thing. A lot of people overwater because they just don't know how much to water. And then they get the idea in their head because they've seen like their parent or grandparent outside in the summer watering the garden bed like every evening or whatever. But it's completely different environment than inside, and you would not do that with an indoor plant. I want to watch Secrets of Dumbledore, but I have to wait till the crowds die down. Honestly, when I went, now it could be because like I went on the 15th because that was my birthday and that was like the day it came out. It could be because it was like opening day and we went to the showing like a little bit earlier in the day that it wasn't completely packed. Like it was a little bit busy, but it wasn't completely packed. I don't know what the crowds have been like on it. It seems like I haven't noticed anything, but has the advertising for this movie been more than the other ones? because, like, my brother and my mom have mentioned this one, and they didn't even realize that this is, like, the 3rd installment of this series, and they're like, "Oh, I should go watch this one." I'm like, "Well, you should probably watch the first 2 first to understand what's going on," and they're like, "What? I didn't even know," and I'm like, "Yeah, it started, like, years ago." But, yeah, I think I think it was really good. My friend was very disturbed by, like, the first few minutes of it, or a little brutal, but definitely intense. It was really good, and this one doesn't have Johnny Depp in it. It has Mads Mikkelsen, and to be honest, this may be a little controversial, but I feel like he fit better. I have nothing against Johnny Depp, but I felt like his costume design was very Johnny Depp, Tim Burton-esque, if you know what I mean, like, very Mad Hatter, and Mads Mikkelsen has kinda toned it down a bit, and I feel like he just kind of, fits the aesthetic of the universe a little bit better. I don't know, but I enjoyed him. I think he did a good job, so it was interesting. I won't give away any spoilers, don't worry. Do, 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 do. I would have showed for the live. Oh, for a Sunday live. I wasn't sure, and then I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave it rest." That was kind of where I was at, and then come honestly, come mid that week, it was kinda like everything started to go downhill. But, yeah. So, I was gonna do Sunday, and then I was like, I feel like you'd have very small turnout, and then I was like, "Do I want to do that?" And I ended up actually just, like, deep cleaning my house and getting stuff in my house done, which was good. It was a productive day still, but, yeah, it's made it a long time since our last live stream. Oh, excuse me. I water mine in Nook once a week with about 2 ounces of water. I water mine about once a week as well. Um, about once a week, but to be honest, I make sure my soil is pretty wet, and then I just leave it until it starts to get to the point where it's pretty dried out, so sometimes that's a little more than a week, um, and then I just water it thoroughly again. Also, happy late birthday, thank you. I'm old now. Nah, still young at heart. Chihuahuas are mean. He has nice moments, but unless you're my big brother, run if it's been a while since his last nap. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't say I have much experience with Chihuahuas. One of the dogs that comes into work relatively regularly is a corgi. One of my coworkers has a corgi. And then there is one of my other coworkers, a dog comes in almost every day, Pepper. And she is a pit bull lab cross, we think. It was an adoption from the SPCA. And I get along with her too. She likes me. But I've never really encountered Pomeranians. I've encountered Pomeranians. I can't I can't remember the name of the breed of dog, but there's a dog that comes into our work occasionally, and I'm like the only one that can pet this dog. Her name's Kira, and she is like the dog from Lassie, but smaller. She's a small Lassie dog. And she likes me, but she is literally one of my coworkers got really excited. Was like, "Kira!" The one day when the dog was walking in, the dog immediately turned around and walked for the door. And I just about cried laughing. My coworker was like, "No!" And I was like, "Well, yeah, will you come screeching at the dog? It doesn't want anything to do with anyone." But a Chihuahua, yeah, they don't really have any experience with them. They may have increased the ads for this installment for Fantastic Beasts franchise to encourage people to go out to the theaters again because we've been aside for 2 years plus. That's true, and I think they also took a longer break between installments because they were doing what they did, like, 2017 and then 2018, didn't they? 2017, I think, was the first one, and then 2018, because I remember for the second one, I was still pregnant, and then, yeah, I don't think we've had one out since 2018, so that could be why too. I didn't think about that gap, but that could be why too. Mm. We had a Chihuahua rat terrier. We got him November 2017, and he sadly passed at the end of May 2019. Oh, always good to get house chores done. Yes, exactly. I have been putting them off for the last 2 weeks. That's honestly why we're in my room, because my living room isn't clean, and I didn't wanna clean it. Just I've never picked up the toys after my daughter left. So, mm, it turned out for the best. In 2020, Biscuit needed to have his left eye removed. Having him pass then would have been the needle that broke the camel's back. Ooh, yeah. To have all that happen at once would have been a lot. Would have been a lot. I don't know. I'm worried about this cat is sleeping with its eyes open, and it's kind of creepy. What are you doing? You're being kind of creepy. Anyways, sorry. It's like I looked over and I just see like a sliver of blue on the eyes, like half rolled back. I'm like, are you alive? um, what was I gonna say? I'm worried about these two because obviously you don't want to lose a pet, but now I'm like, how am I going to explain that to my daughter when it does happen? Because she's probably still gonna be pretty little when it does happen. I mean, she may not be super little, but these guys are already 5 and 6 years old. 5 and 6? So they're, like, halfway through their lifespan, which means well, I don't really know what breed they are. To be honest, I picked this one up from a crack house. She was $20, and the house was so sketchy, we threw a 50 at the lady and left. Yeah. But I don't know why I told you guys that story. True, though. True. We went, we purchased her off of we had gone into the big city and ended up purchasing her off of some lady on Kijiji because our local SPCA didn't have any cats at the time. And we rolled up to this place and it was like really, really sketchy. Very, very strong, like every hair on the back of your neck standing up, like danger, 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 get out of here vibes. And she was asking only $20 for the cats. And, like, it was so creepy. She's like, "I don't have change. If you hold on a second, I can send my husband to the corner store to grab some." And we were just like, "Don't even worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Here you go." Just gave her the 50 and, like, got out of there as quickly as possible. It was so sketchy. But I'm happy we got her. Biscuit's whole glaucoma journey started April 24th, 2020, and it ended May 12th, 2020. It was very short and hard on me. He's my whole life. He's helped me through so much. Ooh, at least he's still here. That's rough. That's rough. But at least he looks like he's pretty happy now. Like, obviously, not ideal situation. No one wants to have to go through that, but at least he's okay now. He's living his best little one-eyed doggo life. I've never had a dog. I really want a dog, but obviously I have 2 cats and I don't want to um take on more than I can handle. So, we'll just be 2 cats for now. I don't know if you guys can see how she's laying. Hold on a second. She's being cute. Look at her. Say hi to YouTube. She's so cute. She's so cute. But yeah, anyways, we've been going for about 2 hours now, so I think we're probably going to end it off here. So thank you guys for joining me. And I'm glad, even though I announced it a little bit late, that a bunch of you were still able to make it and join in, even if it was just for a little bit. So I hope everyone had a really, really good Friday. And I hope you all have a really, really good, wonderful weekend and upcoming weeks. I hope everyone else who has had a bad week or bad day just haven't been your day, your month, or even your year. But if you know, you know. I hope everyone just has a better week this week. If you've had a bad week, better weekend. And yeah, hopefully, remember, we do live streams every other Friday. So this upcoming Friday, there will be no live stream. And then the Friday after that, we will have another live stream. So hopefully I will see you guys then. LOL, friends seems on. Yeah. So hopefully I will see you guys then. But until next time, thank you for sharing your time with you. And I will see you then. Bye.